This weekend is a very special realization of so many different ideas and dreams culminating around supporting a brand new to the world brilliant voice that is Jiggs Burgess.
Yes.
Yes.
When we held our very first Writers Festival, one of the big things we do is that all 3 of the winning scripts, we do a live stage reading so that the writers get to hear their work, see it on the stage. So last fall we did a reading in Dallas, and in that reading, I was there running the festival, and Bruce and Kristen and Charlotte were all in that reading.
I just wanted to say, everybody was just wonderful. I'm part of the foundation myself, and I just couldn't be more proud of what we've done and how we have made this come to fruition. This is incredible, how everybody has worked together, and especially you, Jonathan. And the staging, I have to say, is just incredible.
I get that credit for directing, but Blake was equally part of this directing.
That's great.
Every piece of choreography, because I have no rhythm, except I think I could have done the cheerleader thing. I think he did choreograph I think I could remember. But all the stuff that you saw that was so magical with the suitcases and the cars and all of that, that was all Blake McIver. Every bit of it. I just sat back and go, oh, that's a good idea.
This one had such a universal message for me, in that the hope of your ancestors. I think all of us feel like that. I know I do. I had 4 grandparents and 1 parent emigrate here to get away from Eastern Europe before the Nazis took over. And while none of them are here with me, they're with me every single moment of my life. And so I got that. Sorry, I didn't mean to cry, but I got that universal message. But all of us, I think, will identify with this.
The universal message of this, that is, with us all having family, it resonates. Truly, with the artistry of this play, and I always talk to young writers and young storytellers about, if you were willing to, I love that part where he says, our curses become our blessings.
And the way you all morphed from character to character, especially the ensemble, you became each character, and you were different, and you were believable, and you were honest and truthful, and I really appreciated that. So could you tell me what your favorite character was, if you did morph from character to character?
One of the things that, when I was reading this, Emerson mentioned I was one of the jurors, so I got to lay my eyes on the paper and was really touched by it, but was how the ensemble characters, if you will, were kind of written in the way of a Greek chorus, as it were. And then in the script, there were actually a lot more characters and actors, and that's what happens with the world premiere, is there's a transformation of the work as you put it on the stage on its feet. And seeing them go between the narration and hop into those characters, like you mentioned, I'm always in awe of your work with that. I have been since the beginning.
Emerson did it too. Emerson went from 3 years old to 30 years old, and I find his kid work just ridiculously endearing and wonderful and heartbreaking at the same time, and funny. To go from those tears, we only saw him wipe them once, where it's like, and then I'm narrating to you again. It's not easy. This is not easy.
For me, it's that there's no accidental movement in this entire piece. For me, the dropping in and out of the same character, but at the different ages, is that every body position is specific and intentional. Where the shoulders, and every turn from a narration to a line, landing fully in the body position of that age, of that whatever, so that there's not extraneous muddy movement across the transition. So it's always crystal clear between this is finished and this is with grandma. That working that into the rhythm that's built into the lines, so that it seems clean, it becomes comfortable for everyone if the rhythm stays consistent. And how and where you put your body indicates a lot of that too.
I want to say something. It's not just in those characters that you had to go in and out of. That narrator plays 3 or 4 different roles within the show. You're explaining, you're commenting on, you're doing all these other things. And how you do that, I don't know. And I don't know anybody else who can do it, but it's just brilliant. It's just wonderful. And we've talked about that early on.
Yeah.
So, and, you know, that Dane playwright.
Asks a lot.
Asks a lot.
And it is our pleasure to live up to it.
But you really pulled that off, and I just so appreciate it. Well, everybody. But now y'all can go on.
I want to say one thing also about Anna is our stage manager who's up there making all of this shit happen based on what all of our designers did and all of the stuff that Chris and Sean and Frank and Adam. We had a crazy great team on this.
A question about all the suitcases and with the costumes and everything being on stage. Was it written that way, or is that director's choices?
A little both. The design came from our designer, Jesus, a lot, and Chris.
I didn't say his name.
Yeah.
Our brilliant set designer.
But who's brilliant set designer and projection
Yeah.
designer and all that. I did have, in the script, it does say that props come out of suitcases. Costumes come out of
Yeah, it was
suitcases. But the way they did it was just so flawless and
Flawless,
wonderful.
absolutely.
Yeah. So it takes a director and a cast to solve those problems that I tossed out.
Yeah, we wanted y'all, Blake and I really wanted y'all to see the transformation right in front of you, whether it just be, you know, Aunt June putting on a pair of glasses or whatever to connect you to that new character and not to go off stage. You know, I remember early on we talked about, oh, should they go off stage to do that? And I said, no, we don't want greater tuna. We want to have it just happening in front of you.
Right.
And we had the luxury, I think it's a luxury to have all those suitcases.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and part of also, you know, we don't often get, like, the amount of collaboration in this production is the rarest of things, because, like, that tree was Blake's idea, and then Jesus jumped off from it and then said, I'm gonna build you a kitchen out of suitcases as well. And then Del said, if you can open this, I can make that. You know, there's something really special with a thing no one's ever done before, because it's the first time of everything and every option is available to bring a thing that didn't exist into the world. And then she walked in with that Sparky and we all died. Really special.
What was the biggest surprise between the play on the page and the production?
Oh gosh, there's so many good surprises. I don't think I had any bad surprises with this cast, but the way that Emerson takes those words and does just brilliant things. All my words are there, all my intentions are there, and then he just bumps it up, and it's almost always a surprise whenever you do something that I go, oh, okay, I'm brilliant. Because it's something that you've done.
Well, and also, and we've talked about, I wasn't what you originally envisioned.
Oh no, not at all. I mean, physically, I pictured somebody more my frame, I guess. But when you read that, there's nobody else. I mean, you started reading it in those classes. Dale brought you to me, and it's just been a constant surprise and constant discovery. Even tonight, there were things that I discovered you doing. It's just
Kristen was in that.
That's my biggest surprise.
that
And
class.
Kristen has been doing, and her April. I mean, really doing things with a very, I'm just gonna say it, underwritten character. You know, she's making that character, and I had different intentions with that, but when she brought out the warmth in that character, that was also a huge surprise and learning moment for me. And she's one of my muses, as a matter of fact.
Which is always my pleasure.
So lots of surprises. I mean, I could go down the row here with surprises, with things that they brought. Because on the page, it's maybe wonderful to read, but if you don't have a director or directors and designers and these cast members who can take those words, I mean, it doesn't matter how brilliant the words are, if they're misused, then
Or not say it.
or not said, as the case may be. But you know, in well, the realism that Charlotte brings to Grandmother Evans, just with those words, and some of those words are really heightened, so it's almost poetic, and it could become very stilted. But within the hands of an actress like Charlotte, it becomes so real and so natural, which you need in this play. And the death scene, I almost have to leave every time we get to the dying days, because Bruce's work is so nuanced.
And I came up not knowing anything except that there was probably a red suitcase in the show. And I was blown away. I feel like you have touched my life in a way that I will carry with me forever. I'm getting emotional even.
I would have to say Aunt Judy. Because people get mad at me when Kriggs comes out. They're like, "Ugh, they don't like Kriggs."
We love Kriggs.
Kriggs is fun, but I like Aunt Judy.
I think my favorite has to be Sparky. I never knew like how much I love puppeteering, and I found a true love for it. And I think after this show, I want to like continue like building that craft. Sparky's just like so fun.
I love doo-doo.
Yeah,
Doo-doo. I want to be doo-doo.
Tonight.
That's the problem.
Well, thank you. P3 Theater produced a play for the Hollywood Fringe Festival this year called Wounded that was also scripted by Mr. Jiggs Burgess. That play won several awards at the festival, but the most important and the one that excites us the most is the International Fringe Encore Series Award, which means Wounded is going to get to play an off-Broadway theater in January. So if you find yourselves in New York, we'll be at the Soho Playhouse. We don't have specific dates yet. You can sign up on our website for our email list to get updates, or just keep stalking us on the web, as it were. And Wounded will be playing the Soho Playhouse in January.